Hello guys, it's me Jedi. So today we're gonna be looking at another case, the case of Breonna Taylor. Who is she? What's up with her? What exactly happened? And why she's as important as George Floyd? All that coming up now. So let's go. All right. So Breonna Taylor, as most people know, was an African American woman who decided to be at home one day, and she was an EMT and she did a lot of services that help people, but she decided to be at home one day with her husband, and they were at home when they were. So basically what happened was there was police and they broke into their home and they wanted to go search because they heard that there were drugs in the house, so they went to go search when a lot of mishap happened. So if we're going to start off, we got to start off way back from the beginning. So when it all started, basically, we have a group of policemen who believe that there was drugs in the house of the Taylors. And what they decided to do was they decided to run a warrant, a no-knock warrant. And a no-knock warrant basically just means you don't have to knock, you can just break the door because you don't want them to change anything, any layout of the house before you actually are granted permission to go in. So that's basically the idea of a no-knock warrant. So what they decided to do was they got the no-knock warrant, signed off by the judge, and there was a lot of scandal that went on there, and there's a lot of rumors. I mean, basically at the end of the day, he got it signed. So there's nothing big, and there's no like huge change to that. So they got the warrant, and then they broke the door down, and they went in. And the first thing that the husband realized was he thought somebody was basically robbing him, or he thought there was an intruder who was trying to murder him. So, as most normal people, he decided to pull out his gun, and instead of, pointing or saying anything like they teach you in concealed carry and in gun school, he decided to just take matters into his own hands, and he fired shots. And he decided to fire shots at the cops, and going into like safety mode, saving the other people in the house, not knowing if they're kids, not knowing if there are other people who could get injured. They decided to fire back. And they fired at the husband to make sure he's not an active threat, because he started firing shots. So they had to take precaution to make sure he didn't hurt anybody. So they fired shots at him, and they also fired shots at Breonna Taylor, who was next to them. And of course, at the end, what ended up happening was Breonna Taylor had 8 shots straight to her body, and of course, if you take 8 shots to your body, you're gonna die. And she passed. So it's very sad, the fact that she passed, but it's really easy to just go into the victim side and just say that, okay, Breonna Taylor was shot by a bunch of policemen. We need to get justice for her. But if we're gonna look into it, they actually had like a drug warrant. So it was completely warranted, and they broke into the house, and the police yelled out, "Police, police, police." So I don't know if her husband didn't react to that quick enough, or I don't know if he didn't hear it, but he pulled out a gun no matter what. We don't know his entire intentions because we weren't in his head, so we don't know exactly what happened. But of course, the police had to take caution, and they fired. So all of that happened, and of course, the police are human. The husband's human. He could have made a mistake. He probably thought it was an intruder, and of course, I understand that, right? You're a normal person. Someone breaks into your house, you're gonna get scared, and you're probably gonna go for your gun. But when they yelled police, he still fired, and it's okay. We can't blame him. He's had a loss, so let's keep him to the side. Now let's go to the police's side. Of course, they broke in. They had a no-knock warrant, so they didn't do anything wrong there. And of course, they didn't pull out their guns at all until the husband started firing. So we can't really blame anything on them besides the fact that they probably went to the wrong house, or something happened there, or there were not right drug charges. And we could go on and on and on, and we could say it was a wrong day. They didn't get an inform, and we could just be fighting each other, and we just go on debates all day long. But at the end of the day, the husband pulled out his gun and fired, and the police defended, and they fired back. So of course, a lot of things could have been changed, lives could have been saved, but things happen, and instead of looking at it as a murder, I say we look at it as an accident. Or if it was planned murder, then we need some evidence to show that it was actually planned and that the cop actually had motives other than to just protect the people. And if there's evidence that actually proves it, then I will make a part 2 about this, and I will come back to you guys and I will tell you what I feel of the evidence, and I'll definitely thoroughly break out the evidence and let you know. But just like George Floyd, just like all the other cases, we're waiting for evidence, because as always, we don't have any solid evidence to bank it on. Because we know that they had a warrant, and we know that the husband fired shots. But of course, people want to mask stuff. So when you're on the media and you hear people saying she was just shot randomly by the police, I mean, they make it seem like the police walk in, kicked the door, went straight to her room and shot her. That's not exactly what happened, and we weren't there, so we can't really tell exactly what happened. But we can look at the body cam footage that the police have provided, and that basically backs up the story where they walk into the door, and of course the husband starts firing, so they had to fire back and protect themselves and the other people. I think it's just a huge accident for now, and if we do find more evidence that backs up the fact that it's not an accident, that'd be great. And I'll definitely come back to you guys on a part 2, and I will admit it that it is a murder. But if it's not, then I'm not gonna make assumptions. So right now we are at the point where we don't know if it's a murder or accident. So like always, we need evidence. Remember guys, all lives matter, and all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. So guys, support all lives, support Black Lives Matter. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.